Hello and welcome back to another episode of Supercoach Insider. My name is Ben and this is my team into round 8. So we're progressing quite nicely. If you haven't already, please do like, subscribe, follow us Insider 100 on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, you name it, get on there. Keep up that support. I'm going to, same as I did last week, it was quite successful. So I spoke about my team. It's much easier once teams get announced, especially because the rookies have been a bit shady. So I think this will be probably a nice little. It was popular last week, so I thought, look, I'll do it again. I'm going to cheers to myself. It is my birthday today, and I am doing a little pod just because I love you all. So, yeah. Cheers, cheers, cheers. So, Ross the Boss straight away with the news that has been coming out lately. Clayton Oliver is to miss. Apparently had a difficult week. They expect him back at training next week, so it could be a 1 weeker. That's all I need, mate. You're here to play West Coast and you're not there to play West Coast. So see you later, Clayton Oliver. So he is gone. And the reason it's also a good week for it is I don't think many people are trading this week. So I think it's an easy one to go. I was already going to kind of sit on my hands a little bit. Not like that, but try not to make many trades. And so it's kind of a nice week to use that as a trade and actually move across. So scored 2,500 on the week just gone. Let me have a look at my team and how we went. So progressing okay. Like it wasn't the worst week in the world. It was a high scoring week for a lot of people. So I did slide back a little bit, mainly because I don't have Max Gorn. So, Max Gorn went huge and a lot of people had him as VC, which, makes it really, really painful. So L's 2 for 1. Thank you very much. Good birthday weekend. I'll be down at Coolangatta and then driving up the highway to go watch the Lions play. So appreciate it. And where's the spin as well? Saturday. So Chris's birthday's on Saturday. So you share the same birthday as Chris. So plenty of bevs. I've gone with the Burley Brew. I don't know if you've ever come up to the Gold Coast or Burley. The Burley Brew is really nice. All right, so last week I traded out Reed. Even I played the who I think will score more on field game, not the break-even game, and I lost points and cash. What do you do? I'm not alone on that. I thought wet game. Reed had a poor game the one before it. In the wet weather and Trainer, I think, had been banging out a lot of good scores, 70s and 80s. So I thought, look, I'll just hold Trainer for a bit longer. I'll cash in. I wasn't sure. When you watched last week, I wasn't set on Carroll. And I know some people said, I think I might pass on him now. Hopefully not on what I said, but right until the last minute, I was tossing up between him and Elijah Hewitt. And I thought, look, I'm going to bank the cash because I wanted to have 132,000 in the bank to possibly make an upgrade. And I didn't want to just have 40K because then you kind of get stuck trying to make some trades. So, it'll be interesting. Where's the spin? Oh, your Monday, mate. Nice. Shout out to you. Your Monday ginger beer is probably my favorite ginger beer. Not going to lie. Out of all the ginger beers in the world, and they used to have it at the Gabba, they used to have your Monday ginger beer in the members section at the Gabba, and it was absolutely unreal. Probably my favorite ginger beer I've ever had. So, so I got a little bit unlucky with the whole Trainer and Reed scenario. It is what it is. If you kept him, good job. You made 35K. If you traded like me, unlucky. Look, he made 150K. I'll take it. He is a perennial low scorer every now and then. I will say Reed had an unreal game, though. Probably the best I'd seen him, which hurts. In the wet, it hurts. However, my savior, because Patton played, I had to toss up between Carroll and Stone got me a 78 on field. So I was extremely stoked with that one. My lowest scoring player this week was McRae. So I wish we played 24 because the lowest person I took Levi Ashcroft off field. I took Lindsay's score, he's 78. I put Sampa Pepper on field again. I had Cleary on the bench. But I played Stone in defense instead of Trainer, instead of Carroll, because obviously Patton came in and ruined my loop. So, so I actually kind of got a little bit lucky on that one. And here's the issue. So I did bring in Dacos. I spent the money for him. I think there's 6 to 8 people that are over 600,000. So try not to pay over 600K because you're talking about maybe 8 players or 6 players. There's not many, right? So don't pay over 600K if you can help it because it's just ludicrous. 1 or 2 poor games, they drop right back down and become affordable. Anyway, so I brought in Nick Dacos. I sold my soul for a VC. I did have it on Brayshaw and then a C on Cherry. I put it on Dacos and I took the 125 because if you've been following me, the last 3 weeks I've had a horrible VC and C run. And I was like, right, Dacos is in VC 125. Didn't even hesitate considering I've been getting hundreds for the last 3 weeks. And then the people, Brayshaw and Cherry, the two I would have had as normally VC and C, went absolutely huge. So I can't win. But look, it is what it is. I'm only about 100 points shy of getting up to about 29th. So, but I'm also only about 100 points ahead of, say, 320th. So it is quite tight at the moment around the top here. And the one thing that a lot of you are now coming to stay. So King Shees, I see you, mate. News is apparently Ashcroft, Adcock came out saying that Shees will be playing off the half back again this week. So good news for the Shees owners. And Alex Beza also. So Clayton Oliver. Now, this is the big issue and double dummy. So that's probably the main thing I'm probably going to unpack first of all before the teams get announced. Clayton Oliver's a miss. He's gone, right? So I wanted him against West Coast. He's gone. I didn't like him last week anyway, up until halftime. But I'm not holding him, right? And it's a good week because I feel like there's not many rookies on the bubble, so you can actually get around making that move. Now, for me, so I started Sarong. I think Sarong could be a good option if you had the cash. So if you have cash on Clayton Oliver, and we'll break this into two categories: those who have cash and those who don't. So I have 132K here. So I am looking at putting a little bit of money onto him to get Lockie Neal. I think he didn't have a preseason. I know he's not extremely going well at this point, but he has dropped 80K in price. I think a lot of the top players around me probably have Neal or some kind of held through it. So I did want Lockie Neal. I do want him as a nice, consistent player that scores. I think as the season gets tighter, he'll do really well. The impending tags that look like they're coming. So GWS and Geelong are both during bye rounds. So even if he doesn't go great during those rounds, I'll be able to cover him. It's not as big of a loss as far as my total points, but it does provide me another strong midfielder that I would look at. So I am looking at that. That's number one. Happy that Cherry got to keep his name. Outside of that, I think Neal kind of goes in the same boat with, say, like probably ahead of, say, Anderson, Rao. Even though they're averaging more, I still see that probably around the mix there. If I didn't have Sarong, I'd probably be interested. If I didn't have Merritt, I'd probably be interested in those two. Not setting the world alight, but, good scorers over a longer period. So I would probably back them in. So they're the ones if I have cash. If you don't have cash, then I'd be very much tempted. Instead of going, like, I know you can get Dawson at 500 and the rest of it. If you don't have Merritt, wait a couple of weeks, he'll be 550. I'd rather a 550 Merritt than a 500 Dawson. So feel like, don't just go the 500K guy because they're there, especially if they're not going to be top 10 in their line, right? So Dawson might get close enough if he pulls his finger out. Whereas I'd much rather go, Petrarca, Rankin, Warner, if you don't have those, because they will be top 10 in their line. So at least you're going to get on early compared to some of your competitors. And it sets a line now. So that way you go, okay, now I've put a forward in a couple of weeks' time. Some of your other rookies mature or other rookies come up on the bubble, and then flip that into, okay, let's now get that midfielder. Let's get Bont and Butters and spend up on those guys after their bye. So even on my side with let's just say, so Chera, I'll probably flip around buys anyway, right? But Oliver's gone. So that leaves 2 bench spots there. So that's Bont and Butters. Okay. Outside of that, it really leaves me. So Chera's spot's quite flexible because it does open it up to whoever I think will probably perform well or pick up at a good price. I'm devastated I got rid of Rosie 3 weeks ago because his 3-round average is 120 and his roles changed and he's played defense for 3 weeks. Pulled the reverse Josh Kelly. I'm not looking at him until he gets DPP. I know some are looking at it. He's on track for DPP, but we still have quite a few rounds. If Butters gets injured or something happens, Rosie's back in the mid, and then you're stuck with Rosie in a midfield, which isn't the worst thing in the world. Let's face it. He's still a good player. I had him for those 260s and kind of had enough of him. So it is interesting on that. So I'm looking at probably filling my forward line. If not, if you don't have in defense, I know a few are off him because he's performing poorly, but value, Zorko, 517K. And even I know Holmes, a few people are getting off Holmes. He had a couple of poorish weeks, right? But Geelong's home, like the run home, is amazing. And against the weaker teams, he'll just run and dash and just keep on toweling. So I'm not too worried about him long term. I still think he'll do well because the first half of Geelong's draw, I think, was quite tough. And the back half opens up, so they should get a lot more wins, which means for me, I actually quite like that as an option. Also, another good buy. So Neil and has a good buy as well, very late buy. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I'm looking at. So I'm currently looking at Oliver in for Neil, depending on teams. So teams can definitely shape what I am going to do. So just bear with me. And again, it could be like Brisbane bias, possibly, right? Like, obviously, I like the guy. I'm not thrilled in the fact that it just leaves me with 38K left because that might actually impact my upgrade cadence next week. So I am aware of that. I'm not exactly super thrilled. So I might think that one over a little bit. Because otherwise I'm going one up, one down on Clary and spending up. I did want Neil this week. I thought about Cherry to Neil, which is why it resonated with me a little bit more. But now doing that, see, Cherry's 50K, right? 50K. I can do 50K. Losing 100K, nearly 95K of that, I don't think that's probably as worth it. So take what I just said and probably throw it out the window, shove it up the proverbial. I don't think I'm going to spend my 100K to upgrade a Clary. So for me now, it's probably the Track or Rankin for the less money. And I'll go back to what I just said before there. So, or Zorko would be a good option as well, actually. So there we go. Neil or Zorko this week. I think value probably is. I know Neil is value, right? He's dropped 80. Like, do I just pay up for the guy? Always averages 115 plus. Still averaged 120 last year. Didn't start well to start this year and got tagged, but also had no preseason. Do you know what I mean? Like, he tore his plantar fascia in the grand final, didn't run. So I had to come back the long way. And he still looks like he's got pretty good touch, right? He's just, yeah. So I think there is definitely something in that one. Will be interesting. So let me just see. Plan with Oliver. Yeah. So getting rid of Oliver. It'll either be Neil or it will be probably Rankin. Maybe Petrarca now. Like, surely with Clary out, Track goes a bit more mid and pure mid, not forward. You've also got Holstop back for Melbourne, who I think is a half forward anyway. Had a poor game, first up. I'll give him that. He did come off an injury, but I still think he provides them something forward. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm not sure, and this is going to shoot me if I say it. I'm not sure I'm sold on Petrarca, right? Like previous years, yes, high scoring player. He'll do well this week, so you'll kind of feel like you have to get him. If you don't, you'll probably next week you'll be kicking yourself thinking you have to get him. I don't know about him, eh? And I'm probably one of the only ones. Like, I'm not sold on it. Yet as a forward, I think it's still a no-brainer. So, I just have a feeling Warner's up and down, yes, but I think his high ceiling games are bigger than Petrarca's high ceiling games that we're going to get. Rankin is my number one, except he's more injury prone and suspension prone. So that kind of throws it out a little bit as well. But if I probably choose, I'd probably go Rankin over all three of those or all the two others. But it will be interesting. So that's my plan. Clary goes, whether I go Neil or whether I kind of lock in a forward slot. I do like Zork, but then that only leaves one more slot in that defensive line. Sinclair, I want to see what he gets named into in 5 minutes' time. I want to see where Sinclair gets named because guaranteed they're going to say he's defense and then probably play him forward and really mess us up. All right, Zachy. If you just joined the stream, it's my birthday. Give us a birthday shout out and a cheers. Chin, chin, chin. Bit early for whiskey. All right. Trainer of sub risk, I don't think he is, to be honest. I guess we'll see, but I don't think so. I think they still want him playing, and we'll see how we go for that one. Cash, Bont or Butters. See, that's the issue. I think there's only, again, 6 to 8 guys that are at 600K, so I'm not paying 680 for Bont or Butters. At the moment, it hurts because they're averaging 140. They're not going to average 140 for the season. All they need is drop 100 or so, and they will drop in price. I mean, Clark from Fremantle's just hitting hundreds every week, and he's still dropping down to 530. So you only need one poor score. Zach Merritt was 610. He dropped what was it, like 100 and then a 90 or something, and then he's dropping down to looks like about 550. You know, I got an 89. So like, it's not hard to drop in cash, and the more expensive you are, the faster you drop. So I wouldn't be paying up anything, and they have the first buy, so I'm literally going to be stockpiling after those buys. Even if I flip the Chera and go from one buy player to another buy player, I'm okay with that. That's what I'm doing. And after the buys, they're both target number one, and I'll move mountains to do it as well. Yeah, Rankin instead of Neil. That's what I'm going to be tossing up at the moment. I know Zorko's break even's 130, but he does do well generally against Gold Coast. They do play North, and they play D's coming up as well. So generally leak a few points in that sort of defensive line. So I am keen for him, if not this week, next week, but it just depends on how, I guess, the rookies perform. So it'll be interesting on that one. I don't like, and again, I don't like Liberatore. I don't like Kennedy. I don't like guys with, when you'll have Law coming back into the mix. I just think it's an unknown there as to what they're going to do. So I don't really want to do that. If you have 6 forward primos already, you could take a Chad Warner if you wanted to, and then put him into flex once you get rid of Flynn, assuming you have him. I don't mind that. Here's a really interesting scenario. So I did speak on the podcast earlier this week about, Bus or Huswaite. If I wanted to go early on one, I'd go Huswaite, who I think does play for the next 3 weeks, 2 price rises, and then tries to force someone out. Bustlinger can get dropped for Jones at any point, so one poor game, he's gone. So I don't like that as much. If I had to choose between Bont and Butters, I'd probably say Bont, because he's usually more durable and just consistent, whereas Butters has a huge hurt factor, but then he also hurts himself. So if you could choose those two, Bont easily. Let me know when teams 2 drop to. I'm trying to just fly through some of these. Yeah, I don't know if I'd get rid of like Moraes and stuff just to get a Neil. I think if you have the cash already, I think it's probably an easier one. Whereas trading a 1 down, 1 up now just to go from a Clary to him, I don't like it as much. I'd rather go Clary straight to like a Warner maybe, or a Rankin if you have a bit of cash, or a Petrarca. Yeah, I think Track will have about 80% CPAs. So I think it'll probably make his scores more consistent. He was getting 90s a bit. Doesn't mean he gets more targeted. Does he now feel the pressure where he can't just, play forward? Is he ready to play pure mid? Because Viney wasn't doing the most there anyway. They could throw Rivers through there a bit more. They could use Langford a bit more. So I don't think they need Petrarca to pick up the midfield guts. And if they're already looking at life after Clary and life after Petrarca, hypothetically speaking, then what a good opportunity to give a younger person more of a run, and against West Coast. So I don't know. And it depends. If Clary's back next week, then again, nothing. It's a null void. Petrarca gets a boost for a midfield role 1 week. So again, I still think it could be a little bit interesting. Break even a 70. So yeah, it is tempting. But again, if he goes 100, he's going up 15K. So then what would it be, 515? Like, it's not the worst thing in the world. I'd have Dunkley. Oh, Dunkley over Dawson, because Dawson's not great this year. Dunkley's a role player though. Dunkley. Clark over Zorko for consistency. Zorko if you want the ceiling, because he's had the ceiling this year. So buy rounds, Zorko wins. Consistency, probably Clark, but I'm still waiting for Clark to do something good. Shout as well. Never too early for whiskey. Yeah, it's true. I'll probably crack one in a little bit once the footy starts as well. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. So I'm just trying to get through these. Teams should be announced. So we'll see here on what's going on. Yeah, Clary to Track's probably easy now. I do agree. Clary's timeline's meant to be, I think they said missing this week, but they did say he wasn't. He has some things going on. So they expect him back at training next week. So who knows? It's indefinite. You assume he could play next week. It could be a 2-3 weeker thing. We don't know. It could be a week to week, kind of like a Harry Mackay kind of deal. So who knows on that one? All right, about to go across the teams here before I sort of round out what I'm going to do with my VC and Cs. My trades, I'm thinking Clary to Neil, but I don't know if I want to spend the money. So, because that does impact me upgrading next week. I also thought about, before Clary was out, going Marich to, say, I know his break even's not bad and I can hold him to the buy, but I actually thought about Marich to Rankin for the 100K, which means that I could actually go Clary to Petrarca. So I could go Clary to Petrarca, Marich to Rankin, and finish my forward line. So that's not another bad play either. Mainly, I know Marich is doing well, and they are playing Melbourne, so Melbourne do league points to defenders. I might just wait for Sam Pepper to mature a bit more because I don't think he's as consistent. I think he's on a heater right now. So I think Sam Pepper could easily drop a 40 to a 60 at any week. So I would like to maybe just give it a week and then probably move him on. So that's probably what I'm looking at. I might try and hold Marich a bit longer for those that do have him. Levi Ashcroft can probably go as well, by the way, if you have him. I like him against North and against he'll probably go well, right? Against North and against Melbourne, he might spike 100 score, make a bit more cash. If you want to get rid of him, I'm also okay with that. I don't think there's any real wrong play for a guy that's pretty much made you 170,000. It's sort of like a Reed scenario. You're going to get rid of them regardless. Do you want to move on to a premium and get more points on field, or do you want to make the extra 20, 30K because rookies suck and you need the extra 20, 30K? Who knows? So I'm probably going to look to hold that one out a little bit. All right, let's go and into teams. Let's hit refresh. Let's see what we are up against. Team should be out, surely, right? Match center. Where's the teams going on, guys? Normally there's like a full tab that says, hey, teams. Is it 25 past? Surely not. Isn't it 620? 620, 623, footy feed. Comment in the chat here. Am I missing something? Literally. AFL teams. Teams lineups. All right. Maybe this is where we're at. All right. This is. Maybe it's 625. Okay. VC and C for this week. I am looking at Cherry. I'd like to go Merritt, but he's not doing well. I think he'll go well tonight. He'll probably go 120, 130 tonight against North. Uncontested ball will rack up. Shees will probably do pretty well, but I just think Cherry against against Goldie should rack up. And I just think his work rate's good. He looks really cherry ripe, pun intended. So I do like that one. I'm hoping some of these other fringe players get named. I know Patton's out, so that kind of does allow me to use a little bit of loophole sort of action and hedge my bets a little bit. Richmond play late though, so I could then definitely look at maybe not a Carroll. I'd have to be like a Carroll maybe in defense and Sydney and stuff. Man, why does Sydney and Giants have to play so like Patton's good? He's late in the week, right? But that means I can't really do that. I might be able to then loop Sam Pepper in forward line and Carroll in defense. And then if one of them doesn't go well, I should be able to use some options there. But Brayshaw worries me as straight up captain though this week. Like I know he's killing it. At some point, someone's probably going to give him some attention. Poo-poo's in. No way. Lineups are out. I thought he was not going to. Apparently, he was going to be. And then someone said that he might have copped a little knock and won't play, which is interesting. So it's got to be named any second now, surely. Pooh's name. That'll be interesting. That's good for my keeper leagues. Yes, I am keen to see sort of what they do, but I thought Pooh was maybe talked about possibly being in, but then not actually in. So, anyway, just checking out these ones. Yeah, Clary's out. We said that already. What is this delay? Yeah, I don't know. Like I'm looking for it, and it's making me look like an amateur. I'm not going to lie. Here we go. Teams, let's go. Let's get it. Oh, so someone did ask. Morris out and Loman's injured, right? So Tunstall is probably an option. I can't say I like it. Coleman could be back in a week or two. Right, he's playing a game this week. He might play AFL soon enough. Loman, it depends on how long he's out for, could open up a spot, right? But they're just so flexible. I just don't know if I like it. So let's see what's going on here with the teams. Team announcements. Where's the... I just want the button, mate. In, out, to be confirmed. Are you kidding me? What is this? You're all seeing this too, right? Jackson's back for the Dockers. So now we're going to have to read the lineups. Jackson back for the Dockers. Okay, so that's good. We assume that one. Trelaw suffered a hamstring, returns. Jackson, Philippo. Let's hit refresh. This is horrible. What are you doing? Okay, this is why I don't like the bloody AFL app and stuff sometimes. Hey, full team announcements will be shortly. What is this crap? Is someone else putting it out in a different way? Is it worth trading out Ashcroft if I can get track? Yeah, I think that's fine. I think if you want to trade out a premium, I think you can get there. But let's try and go individually because this is an absolute mess. The AFL app is match preview, team preview. You're kidding. All right, I'm going to switch it over here back to my team so you can kind of see what I'm running. I've used quite a few trades. I'm trying to risk it for the biscuits. That's the big dilemma I have this week. While I'm looking at this, I will talk about a really weird strategy that I have thought about, and it is a strategy that's probably it would help win it or lose it, basically, which means there's not much cash generation, right? In order to make some upgrades, there is a possibility where, okay, so like say TDK has the first buy, right? If you're trying to maximize points and you want to maximize the amount that you can score over those buy rounds, especially with the first buy, there is an option to go, say, TDK to Marshall, which is absolutely crazy. I get that, right? But he's lost 150,000 old Marshall, did finish the season really strong last year. So if you went, okay, I'll make 125K there. I actually looked at it. I could go TDK to Marshall, trainer, straight up to say Zorko. So then I'm running Marshall, Zorko instead of trainer and TDK, right? So it's a case of can one of them get, Marshall get within 5 points per game of TDK for the rest of the year? He would be a flex anyway because I want Gorn, right? So it'd be pretty much running Marshall as a flex, as a cheap flex, and then getting Gorn anyway at some point. And then you get another premium instead of a rookie. So you're running two premiums instead of one and a rookie. You make 125K. I had some of the banks, so that did help. And, looking at it sort of that way, it's crazy. It's absolutely. Oh, Morass dropped, man. Okay, see how like what's going on with the AFL app? Because normally you just click on something and it actually tells you who's in, who's out, and there's a whole bunch of something going on. Whereas the AFL app I'm on, literally, I'm hitting refresh, right? There's normally a button that kind of says what's going on, so I might even have to read it off. Look on Insta. Yeah, the AFL, I don't know. I might go to the AFL app on my phone and maybe the actual website is just trash, which could be possible. Like, I'm not even lying. Latest news. Teams. Team announcements will be shortly. So it's whatever, they haven't updated the actual website where you can click on team by team. So unless I go match center and try and go team by team, it's just absolutely stupid. And I wonder if it's the exact same on my phone. Yep, team 8, team shortly. So maybe someone put, yeah, I know, right? Stupid. On Insta, can someone put a link out here, please? So I can maybe just share that and we'll go on our way. Man, the one time you actually want something to work, and I'm not one to complain, but that's just absolute baloney. Lineups. And still no lineups on the official website. I don't think Merritt can get tagged that much. Will Phillips is an average person. Yeah, nothing working. People, it's all right. I'm sure they'll fix their mess at some point. It's only an app that you just, like a website where you just post stuff. And this has happened before too, sometimes where you're just like, mate, just show me the teams. So in the meantime, is there much there? So Filippo is expected to be tested for game day on his leg injury. Oh, tested on game day. So Filippo named, but they're testing on game day. So that doesn't sound that great. Yeah, I need to see if Oscar McDonald's playing, especially now that Jackson's name. So if Jackson's named and Omac is, that would be probably a reason to maybe get him in. I think Sardis will play. Bo Allen, I did hear, will play his first game, but will he be sub? Should be interesting. Moraes drop. So we need to see some more of this stuff here. Yeah, nothing working for me. Checking Instagram. I feel ya. Sid Draper out. What? So no Crouch and Sid's out. Man, Omac drop. Okay, hit me. Where are we at? Put them out in the chat. Let's go. Omac dropped. That makes sense. I thought as much with, with Jackson coming back in and all the rest of it. I did think that was a big possibility. Stone dropped. What? He had the best round he's ever had. I wonder who's back in for him. Fahy or something like. Read down. Games. I'm not enjoying this match center. I'm not going to lie. All right. Maybe people are just trolling me here. Sid Draper out. Omac out. Just individual teams posting on social media. Yeah, the AFL site's cooked, so that might be interesting. We might have to actually just click on every single website. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, Mackenzie Scott. That's not so bad. Where do I find just all these AFL team websites? Should just be like a button you can press. Seriously. Clubs. Here we go. Club sites. How bad is this that we're going to have to go? Right, so let's go. Share this tab instead. Adelaide Crows, team selection. Let's go one by one. Oh, Crisp is out. Well, see, I thought they would do that in honor, to be honest. I think Crisp could have played if he wanted to, but I think they'll try and, if that is true, I think that's a big round of applause. That's like a Mark Taylor, Don Bradman style thing. All right, so in Fogarty, Berry, Butts, Smith out, Crouch, Murray, Hinge, Draper omitted. Wow, so Crouch is out. So you can just cross. Has occurred. Check your internet connection. Yeah, so the AFL app sucks, right? Okay, so looks like Berry's playing mid then. Draper's done if they're dropping him, so that's it. Yeah, lift your game, AFL. Hinge suspension, so he didn't overturn that one. Murray's injured, Crouch is injured. So I think the big one for that is probably Berry in draft leagues, maybe, unless they're going to sub him. Fogarty in. So there's one. Let's have a look now. Let's get rid of that one. Lions, I think we kind of know, but let's just have a look. Squad in. Well, it just said squad. Oh, because they play Sunday, right? Payne, McKenna, Dodie, Fort have all been included. Lohman, Morris are out. So that'll be interesting. Dodie, I don't think he'll play. McKenna maybe could be a sub, if anything. Oh, actually, McLaughlin will probably play because he's a forward, unless they play two rucks. That'll be interesting on there. And shout out to you. Thanks, Benny. Oliver to Warner, I would definitely do. Laura Kane. Don't blame Laura Kane. Dawson is appealing. Gallup name. I don't know. Let's go and have a look. So we'll go with. Oh, am I not? Sorry, I got to share this tab instead. So every time I do it, I got to share that different tab. Sorry, apologies. All right, let's go and get rid of that one. Carlton team is in. Yeah, I know, right? Teams are just stupid. Someone let me know if the teams do refresh. Okay, so what are we doing? Field view, list view. Lift your game, Carlton, mate. Ins and outs, no one. There's a whole blank team. That probably actually sums up Carlton really well. No one on field. Refresh, Carlton. Come on, mate. Silvani Hands, Zach Williams declared unavailable and nothing. So that's not very nice. We can't tell. Thank you, Carlton, for being useless. We can't see. Collingwood. I might keep refreshing my phone too. We're all in this together, guys. All in this together. The traders are live too, apparently. So good on them. More to come. Still TBC. That's so bad. So bad. All right, Pies, team selection. So sharing this one. Let's go. Yeah, team. Where are we? All right. Who said Chris was out? Again, yeah, even clicking on the actual official website, like through these teams, that's two now. All right, like, okay, so that's Carlton and Collingwood. Both have come up. Like, unless they're actually posting their teams on socials. I should probably just look at Twitter, to be honest. They probably post their actual teams on Twitter. Or on X, should I say. Oh, man. Duncan in for Stewart at the Catters, apparently. Finn named Belly Smith emergency with Bo Allen to debut. Okay, so that's good news. Okay, this week's turning into carnage. Yeah. Connor Stone dropped. Omac dropped. Tom Stewart out. Oh, man. Connor Stone. He only just made some money. What's his problem? What's his problem? Moraes dropped. Look at this. Tim Mitchell to the fore here with all the good stuff that's happening. Who are we at? Carlton. Maybe if I just go to Twitter. 1, 2, 3. We made 3 changes. Cool. Can you let us know what they are, please? Or do we have to click on your website to show me nothing? Silvani, Zach, they were declared. Replacing Silvani could be Lewis Young. What's this could be? You said you made 3 changes. I click on your website and there's nothing there, guys. Like, what is going on? Oh, I'm like, yeah, okay. So go AFL website, not working. Let's go to the AFL. We'll go team by team, and I click on and so Adelaide, Brisbane, yes, there's stuff there, right? Let's try this one. Let's go with teams. Jackson's inclusion with Oscar Omac omitted. Okay, so that's fine. We got that, but are they actually, again, blank teams? All right, so I think there must be an issue here where whatever they've put through, it's not working, and we have to read it like old school. Okay, so Quinton Narkle's been named on the bench alongside Chapman, Dudley, Murph, Reed, and Wagner. McDonald, Rasmus are emergencies. Okay, so it looks like that's all that we need to know from that one. So we're probably just best to literally just scroll through Twitter right now, to be honest, guys, because like, hey, good old Falcon. Or just put them up here in the chats. Here we are. What have we got here? Blowing up my team this week. Oh, so that's your team. Perfect. Oliver, Davidson, Butters, Marley. Oh, Finney Marley straight off the bat. They're showing the ins and outs team by team on Instagram. Okay, so let's go. See, I'm not huge on the old Insta, but let's go. Instagram. I'll see if I can get on the old Instas. See, I couldn't even tell you my password on Instagram. Yep, doesn't like me. Oh, continue. Let's see how we are. So I'm just trying to log in and let's check a few different things. Maybe it will fix itself in the meantime because this is not good. Okay, so Carlton, what are we at? Yeah, there's no teams. Yeah, right. So we are trying to problem solve. They're not really putting out team sheets necessarily because Carlton have just done the same thing. Would be nice to see. It says team selection, and then it just 1, 2, 3 team selections. Yeah, cool. Thank you so much. Okay, here we go. Right, share this tab. Here we are. All right. Cowan is back. Emergencies. Francis Pitney. Good. So he's still out. Durden White, Cooper Lord, Doherty, Cowan are on that there. So where is Carroll on field? Yeah. Carroll. All right. So we're good. So Carroll's in. No Pitney. No, Pitney's not in. That looks like he's emergency. Yeah, sorry. It's a bit crap. So emergencies, Bins, Pitney, Evans. So they're out. On the bench, though, so one of them will be probably sub. You'd imagine Doherty. So Durden, White, Lord, Doherty, Cowan. So it looks like that's fine. Chair is obviously playing. Carroll on field. So that looks good. All right. So that's one. So, okay. So Carroll's still playing. So that's good news. And let's now have a little look. Who else was it? Collingwood. Just want to see if Longy's still playing. He should be. Our teams are in. Tell me they're fixed. All right. Let's have a look. Come on. Otherwise, who said teams are in? Shawnee, I thought you said teams in. Or are you trying to pump up my tires and then sidetrack me? Yeah. All right, let's have a look. Latest news. Come on. Surely there has to be an easier way. Final teams. Oh, that's just for the bloody ruse. Oh, all right. Teams available shortly. So this is the same one that we're on, but let's try match center. Matches, team lineups. Okay, so we'll go matches. All right, so matches, lineups. Yes, okay, we're in. All right, so Filippo is in, but they did say that he has up until the day of to get fixed up. Liam O'Connell's back, out. Keeler, Jones, Woods, nothing concerning. Boxall is first in, so that's good. O'Donnell out. So out is one. Boyd's still emergency. Windy's there. Collard, Garcia, Boxall, Hall. So one of those will be sub, it looks like. Filippo straight to the half forward line, so he's not going to be playing midfield like preseason, it looks like. They'll probably ease him in, which does make sense. Jackson is forward with Darcy rucking, so that's what we kind of, I guess, thought would happen, but yeah, it's not great on that one. Chapman, Reed, Narkle, Wagner, Dudley, so it'll probably be Narkle, Dudley, or Wagner as sub, and everything's looking pretty good on that front, so that's good. All right, now let's go back match center. So that's that first game. Doggies and Ports. Lineups. Thank you very much. No team changes. Thank you. All right. So it looks like Doggies is not working. Bless them. Carlton Adelaide should. Lineups, please. Oh, my God. Teams in, log in, and no teams. Yeah. No, teams are meant to be in. And even now, like, it looked like it was fine. I went through the match center to line up, and yeah, this is cooked. Absolutely cooked. I agree. It did work before. We did have one team before. That was nice. Let's see one that I do want to see. So I wonder who Giants then brought in. Let's just try our luck. Lineups. It's lag. Oh, wow. This is laggy as. Yeah, premierships, lineups. No one there. Thank you so much. All right. Let's go back to the old Insta and let's try this one. Collingwood Football Club. Team selection. Scroll across. All right. Collingwood. In Moore, Cox, and Schultz. Out O'Sullivan, Jeremy Howe, McStay. All right, so nothing crazy there. Following, Long is still on ball, so that's great news. Nothing crazy out of the ordinary out of that one. Perryman's still listed at halfback, so there you go on that one. Let's now go across. Trelaw back, is he? Let's have a look. Let me look at GWS just to see who they brought back in, because is that even teams? No. I don't think they've even announced their teams. Considering GWS is big on socials, they have dropped the ball on that one. So interesting. Yeah, Stones admitted I saw that one. I'm wondering like for who? Like who the hell did they bring in? Which is the most concerning part. Let's have a look at Bulldogs then, considering someone did say Trelaw's back, because I did read someone was talking about Trelaw overcoming something. Trelaw is in. All right, so Cleary, O'Donnell, Bramble, Johannesson, Lobb, Bailey, Dowell. So Bustlinger isn't there, but he's on the interchange. So that's Bussy's still there. Williams, Bontempelli, Fraser, Kennedy, Harms, Karmas, Sanders, Richards on ball with Trelaw, Bontempelli. All right, so Trelaw's on the bench. So Vandermeer, McNeil. So I guess the pressure's now on then because they're playing, what is it, Williams and Fraser on the wing. Davidson will still get a game, except I guess Vandermeer maybe sub. Maybe they ease Trelaw back in, maybe McNeil. So that'll be an interesting one from that one. So that's good news for those Trelaw owners out there. So yeah, don't bring any dogs in. Wait and see how it actually sits and, you know, settles from that one. The other main ones that we probably want to look at Let's go Hawthorn because obviously people are looking at the Huss. Jesus, this is trippy. Not what I wanted. Here we go. Oh, fixture. Why are they? Okay, so they're talking about fixtures and Jesus. Maybe that's not the official. No, it is the official. Hawthorn Football Club got nothing for me. All right, let's double back. I'm going to double back and try and see if this bloody website would like to work again. Otherwise, I think I've recorded long enough on this trash show. Unless you want me to stay on for a bit longer, but I do have to kind of bath and bed the kids. And at the moment, they've been eating ice cream and yeah, ready for bath and bed. So, interesting. Let's try and see. Still hasn't fixed itself. There's nothing more disheartening. There's so much I just want to know the teams, guys. Like, I just want to know so I can plan what I'm going to do for my week. All right, match center lineups. And it's the same ring of death. All right, who do we want to look up? Because Hawks are useless. Bulldogs. Let's have a look. Let's check Twitter again because there might be some posts and things are happening over here, guys. So let's see. Maybe teams will just start posting out. Let's go with maybe for following because that might work out better. Round 8, teams, captains, and questions. Supercoach live scroll. 2:32. You're live with me, guys. Good old Al. Hey, hi Al. And the other person I don't know. All right, let's have a look. Jordan Clark. Oh no, Tim's breaking Jordan Clark. Everyone, get off him. No, Tim. No. Oh, I know. Godfather. So now this is just a social. We're just hitting the socials. I'm live and it's happening. Good old Godfather. All right. Any kind of chats here, guys? Squads are in for Richmond. All right. Where we got? Hit us up. Hit us up. Where are we at? Who's in your team? Where are you guys? I don't want to have to read everything. Oh, Bolter back off his curfew. Forward line. Extended bench. Lawler. Okay, so it looks like there's no new rookies coming through for Richmond, so that's a dead end. Yeah, work experience kid dropped the ball. Yeah, Trelawney name is good. Sin Moraes out for Evans. Oh man, Evans sucked, man. Like, and I had him in for draft for a little bit because he had 100 or so, but he turned over handballs. He cost him a lot of goals. Like maybe for Sin, I guess it's kind of like for like, but my gosh. All right, let's go have a look at what else we got on here. Squad selections. Yeah, right. Bring back, yeah, vintage Knicks, George. Bring back people who aren't the future and let the kids rock in the twos. I like it. Huswaite named on ball. Yeah, and I think Huswaite he's a good one because I think he'll do well anyway against Richmond. So, and then you're going to feel like you're pressured to bring him in. So if you're worried that there's not much out there, I honestly think you could just bring him in because he'll probably do well. He'll score well this week. And then I still think he gets 2 more rounds at least after that. And if he does well against Richmond, you're kind of going, well, he has a low break even, so I have to bring him in next week. Which means if you don't really have anyone good on field, just bring him in this week and he'll probably score you well on field. So I do like that play in general. Okay, now come on. Ben, AFL teams are live on the AFL website. I've fell for this before, guys. We've been doing this now for nearly 30 minutes. 30 minutes of trickery. And the people who watch this live back are gonna be like, mate, literally, you could probably skip from like the 20-minute mark up until now because all we've done is gone around in circles and trash talk the AFL app. So, all right, let's see how we go. Share this tab. Let's go AFL. Let's go. Come on, latest news. This is how I usually do it, so that's probably why I'm kind of doing it this way. And I'm hoping that the actual article will then have the link where it has a link here, and you can just click and see every single team that's been announced. Although, okay, at least they've got the list here now, everyone. So let's have a look. So we'll read the ins and outs, and then we'll check the relevancy before we go on. All right, so Saints. we've already done that one. Dogs, Shalorin, McNeil in. Dolan, Hines omitted. Evans, as you guys said. So Moraes is omitted, which makes sense. Like, no offense, Moraes has done his job, but he wasn't exactly setting the world alight, right? Yeah, he's made 100K nearly, 90K, I think. So I think he might be a good one to just kind of move on and bank some cash. I don't know if he's going to be coming back anytime soon. Adelaide we've read, but Berry is probably the big one there. And the fact that Draper's omitted, even with Crouch out. So just killing the youth, which is typical. Young, Cowan, Doherty in, Silvani, Williams, Cottrell out. So the good news for that one again is that Carroll is on field. So that's really good news. Moore, Schultz, Cox, Howe, McStay, O'Sullivan omitted. Yep, so nothing crazy there. Mitch Duncan back in, so good for a draft league if you want him, but they haven't played him all year, and they're only playing it for Tom Stewart. So if you did hold Connor O'Sullivan, he'll probably get a lot more intercepts again this week. Every time someone's out or injured or subbed or hurt, he just flocks to the ball and scores you like a 90. So for those that held, really good job. Oh, this is the one we hadn't heard of. And the kids are dead at West Coast. So Allen is in, Tim Kelly's in, Brockman's in, Dwyer, Long, Davis out. So there's no Hall, there's no Gross, there's no Hope, which sucks, right? They'll get a game at some point. So I think they're more of a long hold. If you've got them, you just hold them and wait for like one more price rise. You know, Hall, for instance, if he plays one more game, he'll get to 200. So you just hold for one game, get him to 200, then trade. I don't know, unless you have like literally nothing else going on. Melsham, Turner out, Clary for personal, and Fullerton omitted. So, wow. So Fullerton's omitted, then that means that Gorney's just pretty much going to do all that ruck work. So that's interesting. Wicks, Patton, Hamling. Why? Wicks, Patton did a calf, didn't he? And I thought Wicks was also injured. How are they in? So it's a Sunday team. Okay, maybe they'll hold him emergency or something, but I'm pretty sure I thought Patton was injured and not playing. So I don't know. And Wicks as well. So I don't know. I guess we'll see on that one. Grozowski, Brown, Aaliyah. Okay, so this is extended squad, except for the fact that Stone is omitted, so that hurts. Ramsden, Sarong. Okay, so we're not going to know these teams until anyway, except for Amon and Scrimshaw obviously are out. And it'll be interesting. So Giath will take one of those spots. Sarong might even go to defense, so we'll see on that one. Lohman, Morris out. And again, we won't really know for that one, so it'll be interesting. We might have to actually check those teams more closely. Moyle, I expect will be just emergency, etc. as well. And I don't know why I just hit that button. But all right, so now let's actually try and go into Match Center quickly and have a look at the actual team matchup. So we've already looked at one. Bulldogs and stuff we've already looked at. Adelaide, they can get stuffed. We've seen Carlton already as far as they're on field. Collingwood, Geelong. We did look at Collingwood on field briefly earlier. Geelong, I don't know if there's any relevance. There's no Nevitt still, so that's another hurt one. All right, let's see what West Coast are doing, if it'll let me. Team lineups. Oh, so I can see the ins and outs. And it keeps coming up with this every time. Every time. All right. Well, I might just tweet out later as far as what am I doing, but I would have been nice to see where people are playing. But that's not going to happen. So that's nice to know. And yeah, Elijah. Okay, so let's get back to my team because I need to land my plane and yeah, so that was interesting. All right, so I'll check it tomorrow anyway. Yeah, no, Dodie's named, but it could be extended squad. They could still play in VFL, so that's not crazy. All right, so let's have a look. Now, the big thing here is Moraes out, Stone out. So I did have pretty good rookies. Patton named extended squad, but I don't think he'll be named because I think he's injured. All right. Yeah. Bo Allen could be good, but I want to see him after his -12 or whatever he did. I want to see him actually pull his finger out, so that'd be nice to actually watch that game. Huswaite could be a good one. Like Moraes to Huswaite, I think could be good because again, I think you're going to have to make that trade next week anyway. The only way that changes is, let's say next week Moraes gets named again, which I doubt. If you dropped, it's not normally just for a 1 weeker. They want you to go build your confidence in the seconds, and you're usually there for a few weeks to kind of force your way back in. You know, he's not the kind of player that just drops for a week and comes straight back in unless there's an injury. So that's kind of what you're banking on there. So Huswaite, you can at least make a little bit of money on that one. And that's how I'd go. So same as, Davidson, if you want to free up cash. So if you have Davidson, you could hold definitely. Or if you want to force it, I would make a trade. But again, you might be cutting off your knees for next week. That's the only issue. Because I don't think Bustlinger will be necessary per se next week unless he does really well. Huswaite's probably the guy next week anyway, with Bo Allen probably the week after. And I think Smiley won't be too far off of that either. So it'll be interesting to see. And obviously North just debuted someone. So yeah, that's the only risk if you're going to double down. However, if you do go early on Huswaite and Bustlinger does work out to be a treat, then you can go 1 up, 1 down using him next week without the boost. So sometimes it does work out in your favor. So Moraes could definitely go. That sucks. So Stone is at 199K, and I think he has a pretty good break even now too. Like it's -1. So all I needed was one more game from Stone, one more game, and he would have got to 230, and I would have cashed out the 100K prize pool and laughed my way to the bank. But yeah, if you have, say, Reed or someone like that, I'd probably get rid of him first of all. So if I had, say, a Murph Reed from Fremantle, I think I'd probably then move on him, and I'd go early to free up the cash because I think he kind of can go now, which will be interesting. So I'm going to go for 2 more minutes, and then I'll probably land this one as well. Davidson to Carroll. No, don't go Carroll if you missed him last week. Although the injuries have given him a little more security than I thought, because I was so 50-50 on even going him last week. I know he's still quite affordable, but not going to lie, like even Elijah Hewitt I've thought about for 220 this week. You know, I could throw 20K on Stone. I think Elijah Hewitt is best 22, and they do play D's and Richmond, so that he could make some money as well. So if anything, one of these dead rookies after teams are announced tomorrow fully, there is a world where I might actually throw 15K on a Moraes to earn Elijah Hewitt, because I think we don't have huge amounts of rookies anyway. They're going to make some cash. I still think Elijah Hewitt can make me 100K. He'll play through the buys if I hold him for a bit longer, if I have to. And I still think he's best 22 with some good scores in there. And he is getting CBAs. I know Kelly's back in, so it could change it, but I still think they're going to prefer to play him because he does play multiple roles and he is a high quality draft pick. So I don't mind that pick at all as far as actually bringing him in for 220 or kind of sidewaysing a dead rookie for one that has a bit more prospects to score on field or to actually make you some more cash. So that's what I'm looking at this week. So I might go, Lockie Neal in, or a Petrarca or a Rankin for Clary. So they're the 3 I'm probably looking at: Rankin, Petrarca, or Lockie Neal, depending on which way I go and how much money I want to spend. And then I may go Moraes or I may go Stone, but I like Stone's break even. I think he's omitted, but they might put him back in. They kept playing him every round and he wasn't playing great. And then he had a really good first half and then didn't have a good second half, and now he's dropped. Like, bruh, have you been seeing him play for the last 7 weeks? So I still think they probably like his defensive work, I guess, but it's not his fault the midfielders suck and kept getting the ball dumped in there. So, yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think Stone can make his way back in more than probably Moraes. So I might actually flip that one to Hewitt. Field trainer or Reed? You'd have to say Reed after last week, wouldn't you? But against North, I'd probably say Reed. I'd say Reed. Bowie, look, he's doing well, but I like a lot of others. I'll take Zorko at 517K more than I would there. I'd probably take a few others. So even some Geelong defense Holmes, I'd probably take over him as well. He's good, right? But we'll see how we go. Oh yeah, is Sardis even named? I didn't even see. Did someone see Sardis named? He is, right? That's right. So they're playing tonight. So he is named. He's not sub. 200K. I don't know. You got Coolball back next week. You got probably Coolball back next week. You got Shield coming back into the mix. So Sardis, he should have played weeks ago and he didn't, right? So I don't know if I like that. And if Essendon keep winning, they're going to just keep playing him as well. If you need a defensive rookie, then sure, I don't really trust it though. Like if you had DPP flexibility, otherwise I think you just hold Reed or Trainer if you have them. They're not desperate to go. If you're trying to force an upgrade, I'd probably look elsewhere. And you can just sit on your hands this week, guys, unless you just have Clayton Oliver fix that if you want to. I would. But other than that, there's no real forced trades. You feel like you have to get a Warner or a Petrarca, but again, they're only going to go up if they score 100, like 15 points, $15, $1,500 or something. So it's not like the biggest thing in the world. What's worse is having a rookie and then them not playing next week because you've made no money and you've burnt a trade. Whereas at least if they play, that you make some money. If they don't play, like Henderson or something, you make your 70K and then you just walk away. So it is a little bit different. HH, you're talking about Harry Himmelberg? That is crazy. Unless you're talking about something else. I'm leaning Neil over Track, but it depends on price and money. If I had Stewart, I probably would. He looked horrible, but how much is Stewart anyway, though? Like he's already got to be cheap. 436K. Yeah, I mean, like if you have DPP swing, Stewart to Warner is not that much. It's like 25K if you have that. I'd probably do that and get rid of him. Clary to Track this week and then Huss next week. Yeah, I think Huss on the bubble if named. But Bailey Humphrey, yeah, of course. Bailey Humphrey, he's now officially made 100K. You'd have to hold Bailey Humphrey. I mean, he's now officially made $100,000 with a break even of 20. You would hold that. And he's projected, if he scores, he's projected 100, but he's projected to actually now make you some money. So if you did it, you hold that. You literally run that out. Trade out Reed or Pryor. Pryor, they tip for Tad on their scores, but you could probably even hold Pryor, really. Like, if I was to get rid of them, Pryor, break even at 33, I'd hold both for a week. Like, I'd seriously probably just hold for a week. Murph Reed, I'd get rid of. Zach Reed has a low break even because it killed me. 6. Oh, come on, stop clicking the wrong thing. Zach Reed, 48. Okay, I'd get rid of Zach Reed. He's made you plenty of cash. Plenty. Huss Wade over Sardis, bank the extra money and go from that one. Marias to Huss this week. Yeah, I don't know. I think Marias, I don't know. I'm tempted to go, if you don't have Elijah Hewitt, I'd probably go that this week and then go down to Huss next week. But that's just me, and that's probably what I might be doing. Tunstall, he might avoid the vest short term. But again, so Tunstall's got, if Coleman comes back in, he's sub or out, right? And then you have Starcevic when he comes back. He's another one that'll force someone out. You already know Lohman when fit will force out, and Logan Morris when fit will force out. So pretty much he's only in because Lohman's been out, and he only kept his spot because Lohman's been out, and they can force, Zach Bailey and stuff to play more forward, and then allows someone else to play on the wing and allows Tunstall to go play in defense. So, but either way, his time is limited. He might get you 1 or 2 jumps, or he might get you no more. So I'm still avoiding. I know everyone's desperate, but unless we keep having injuries or these guys keep getting out, he won't play. So I said that last week, and I'll double down on that this week as well. If you already have Hewitt, then yeah, Huswaite's the only one I would do. I'd hold on Bus. Hell, I'd almost go Oscar Allen over Huswaite. Like, at least he's a first-round draft pick. They want to get games into him, and West Coast sucks. So Bulldogs, when you have Jones literally breathing over your shoulder, it makes it hard to keep playing, right? So Jones will play and dominate VFL, and then all it takes is one bad game. So I'd actually go Oscar Allen over Buslinger. And yeah, there we go. Easy. I got to go, guys. I got other commitments I need to go. I got to go family time now. So this has gone a lot longer than I thought. An hour. I am such a bad person. I need to go. I blame the AFL. That's it. Let's go. Anyone else think North's going to upset tonight? Because if they weren't coming off like a 5-day break, I'd probably tip North Melbourne. But on a 6-day break, I think Essendon will probably be more fresh. And I think North, even though they want to try hard after a bad week in the media and they are getting close to winning, I just think that extra day's break, coming off a 5-day break, I think will kill North because I don't think they are quite there. So I think North are a strong chance. And if they had a 6 or 7-day break, I probably would tip North Melbourne. So I think North will start ahead. I think they'll probably be winning, and then they might get run down in the 4th. But either way, it should be some good footy. Let me know. And happy birthday to myself. I'll see you guys later. Let me know how you travel this week. Go Cherry for the VC. And let me know how you're traveling, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.